Hello and welcome to a tour of the East Keep of the Borderlands. We'll be looking at siege placements as we're going around, so it's a little bit different from other tours that have been done. That was a map to give you an overview of the keep in question, and to the right there appears to be like a long roof area. You can get on that and place down siege. To the left there is an approach that you can go up. That will lead you up underneath the outer western walls of the keep. This is the main approach that you go up probably if you're attacking and invading these lands. Now that's a problem because this is the area that you have to build catapults on, or arrow carts, or ballistas, or even a flame ram. It's not very easy to attack this keep at all because it's uphill. The only thing that really has the range beyond this little area is a trebuchet, and to build that you have basically that roof area there and near to where those harpies just were. Now hopefully that would have the range, but the problem with that is that it would have to be at the maximum height of the firing arc of the trebuchet to get up here in the first place. That means that the trebuchet has to be at about half its maximum distance, so any trebuchet put within these walls will be able to destroy your attacking trebuchet, making it very difficult to attack this keep from the south. Up there to the left we will have a look again in a moment. Around here to the right, just to give you a bit more of an idea of the southern approach. That's the supply camp, so you have plenty of supply to attack with. Just here up against this wall, you could put down an arrow cart, say, and you could use the camera angle in order to shoot the near side of that platform. Okay, so that's where I expect you would put a trebuchet and would be your main way of attacking this particular keep from the south. Up there in front of us, as we'll have a little look around the corner here, that's another way you can go once you come in the southern gate. So you don't have to go straight ahead. You could go around there, and that'll bring you around the northern side to approach the inner keep from that side. Now, if we go back round here and to the right, you can see that it's kind of a valley of death situation. You could have arrow carts up to the left, up to the right. You could have catapults shooting down at you, and on top of that, at the end of this, you could place a couple of ballistas on, or even more, on top of these steps, and then on top of these steps again. It could be very difficult for you to come in and zerg your way up here, so you may have to be a bit cautious. Just ahead of you, you can see the northern gate there. Now on this side, it's got a raised area that the enemy has to come up before getting into the keep, so again you could do a similar thing, though the Valley of Death isn't quite so long. So we can go up onto these walls here. Now bearing in mind you can get right underneath these walls, that's another tactic for trying to get into this keep, or you could be over on that raised area there. So what does that look like? Well, I was having a look there myself not too long ago. So if you look to the right when I turn the camera a little bit, just there, you can see the zigzag path that you go up to get to just underneath the walls. So that's how you get there. Now as I turn the camera again to look at the walls, you'll see that I can mouse over some of them. That means that the walls are within ballista range. That means that they are within catapult range. Now, because they're uphill a little bit, the catapult range will be shortened, but I think a catapult from this point can hit them. Certainly a trebuchet from even further downhill will be able to hit them. So again, you could use this as a second method of approaching this keep and taking it. So you could have multiple fronts of attack on the go at the same time. Now another thing about this keep is, from the north there seems to be only one supply camp that will supply this keep. From the south it's one, maybe two. I'm not entirely sure whether the middle one actually comes this far. But starving this keep of supply is quite easy. So that's definitely a method of taking this that you want to look into. I can't quite place Meteor Shower down there. That means that I might just be able to hit that with an arrow cart from this height. I can certainly cover it with a ballista, and I can certainly cover it with catapults and trebuchets, so that should be a no-go. This keep should never fall into that catapult, which surprisingly it did. Okay, so you could, for example, place a catapult just on this snowy area down to the left. No one will be able to shoot that from the bottom. You could place something over the far side as well, just to cover yourself in case somebody puts something on the stairs. The bridges are destructible. It would be hard to destroy them from the outside. I don't know why you would bother destroying them once you're inside, so I'm not entirely sure what the purpose there is. Maybe that will become clear to me later on. But once you get into the outer wall, you could place siege upon this wall. That will allow you to shoot at siege on the inner wall, which is, well, it's now behind me. There's another area there, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. But for now, we're just wandering around here. We're coming across the northern gate. Now, the northern gate is particularly deep. It is, in fact, so deep that you can put catapults or trebuchet on the back, and I don't think that they would be killable by the usual meteor shower. So, being as an elementalist, I'll test this. And I put down a meteor shower here. Now, each meteor has an area of effect damage on top of the rather large area that this covers anyway. And this is without a trait to increase the area effect of the area effect skills for the staff. But even so, I think at the back there you're fairly safe. As I look out here, you can see that there's a large cliff in front of us. That's near the supply camp, and that's another large cliff that you could possibly put trebuchet on. I think the one above the supply camp is too far away to actually be able to put a trebuchet on and strike this northern door. However, that nearer cliff raised area is within range for sure. Now this is some steps that might be well covered again, because this is the other end of the snowy path that you could take once you enter the south outer gate. So you could come up here and then get round and attack the inner keep from here. Okay, so I'm going to run up to the second, I'm going to call this the second inner keep gate. Now, as you see, the path is quite curving, quite winding, and quite probably within range of a catapult that's just placed upon the wall of this gate. So it's incredibly easy for the defenders to defend in this approach. So I'm just contemplating here whether a trebuchet shot can come over that. The answer is no. Anyway, out to the side here you can see that there is no wall. So I could put a catapult there and cover that whole snowy approach that I was just looking at before. Up there at the other end of this wall is quite deep, so you could put a catapult there as well to cover this corner here that comes up to the gate without too much difficulty. And as you can see, that one there, that probably can't reach here as well. Again, the thing with the trebuchets is, if it's placed high up, it has a longer range than a trebuchet that's placed low down. So you've got to bear that in mind. And therefore I don't think that could reach all the way up here. It's probably in range on the flat, but I don't think it's able to make the height as well as the range. So we're just going over that path that I mentioned again, which could have arrow carts all along here to cover it and all kinds of siege equipment. Now we're on the inside, and I'm checking the wall for depth. And the wall depth on the inside wall of this keep is quite narrow. So an elementalist is able to drop down meteor shower and just destroy over time any siege equipment placed upon this wall. So short term you can have arrow carts up in here. Long term they're probably not going to last. So you might want to think about putting a trebuchet upon the bridge that we just came across, or something like that. Being on the bridge, it has a higher altitude, and therefore you get a better angle on just being able to shoot out over the wall. So you could cover yourself against placement of ballista or catapults just outside your gates. Now that's the path beneath us that I was talking about again. Now coming across this bridge, everybody's funneled. You're going to go in a straight line. So ballista at the end of this is to be expected, arrow carts to slow you down, and possibly catapults for grapple shot as you're trying to come across there. And then once you get in here, ballistas again just here would be perfect. Now there's not a lot of areas to fight in there, so once you do get down to that keep lord, his area of effect damages are going to do, well, they're going to be a big problem. And then all the way along here you could have arrow carts again. So even once you get through the outer gate, the inner gate, you could walk into here, and if you're rushing, this could just be the death of your attack. And one of those curious features of games is that meteors, I suppose it's magical, but they just seem to pop into existence inside of domed buildings. So just going to have a little look outside again, and go have a little bit of a look to the left and the right. Now, I already mentioned that that's going to funnel people in that bridge in front of us, but to the right you're also funneled. I mean, that's a fairly straight line there, so ballistas at the end here again, perfect. And then you've got all this area to fall back to if you need to, and people might well be tempted to go into that area there to try and take the keep lord, leaving some people at the back there, which should be crazy and death. But anyway, there's a supply depot here if you need to build up your defences inside. And as I have another look over the wall here, you can see the map, which is what I'm going to go to. And what that map does is it will give you a little bit more of a view over the keep, show how grand this keep is in fact. And that down there is the area I think you can put trebuchet on again. So you can probably put a catapult on here to attack that gate if the enemy doesn't have a catapult up. It'll be far enough away that it probably won't be destructible by a ballista, so that'd be another way of going about things. But we're just doing a nice little panoramic here. This is a new feature in Beta Weekend 3, just to show you the world in all of its glory. Now, what I want to have a look at now is actually attacking the northern gate. So the approach to the northern gate is quite windy. There's a few cliff faces, etc., that you might be able to use as cover for some siege equipment as you're approaching the door, and that's the door ahead of us. Behind us, oh, there goes some Kragan running away because their control point has obviously gone neutral again. Now, that's the place where I think you could put down some siege equipment nearby. That I think is too far away. So from here you could have an attack that's out of range of the usual arrow cart and ballista defences. You don't need to go right up to the gate. So I'm just wondering where the Kragan have gone there. So as we look here, you can see you've got two wooden buttresses. Again, you could hide some siege equipment behind there, make it difficult for the enemy who's defending to actually destroy it, and giving you a base from which to fall back to should you find that it's fighting's too fierce, rather than being completely routed back. The names above the arrow cart there and the boiling oil, you might have noticed I'm holding down the left alt key. Now that's a good way of spotting siege equipment that's been placed upon the walls, because it's not usually that easy to see because of the angle of you looking up. But again, here I might be able to place a trebuchet or some such. So if I've got ballistas down and arrow carts down as a base of taking this gate here, I might be able to put a trebuchet up here, and then I already have siege equipment to cover it should the enemy try and attack out again. Now, here's an interesting thing that probably wasn't meant to be a trick, but almost worked that way. Now, I thought this was possibly one of our arrow carts, and I might, in spite of everything, try and build it up. It wasn't. It was an enemy arrow cart, and I almost got myself killed. So I could bait people to come and try and do that. So this is just the approach coming up, and that's basically the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful. Until next time. Bye bye.